After exploring the beginning area of this game, learning the mechanics and getting to know my team, I finally built up enough XP from killing the enemies to unlock my first Star-Lord ability. There isn't that many abilities within this game, but they're all very useful. I think I prefer this instead of having a load of abilities and then only using a couple of them at a time. Alongside getting this ability, I also got the achievement Self-Improvement for doing so. In the first level, you get the opportunity to have a bet against Rocket. In this, Rocket bets against you that he can destroy more of these objects scattered around this crashed spaceship. Obviously, you take up this bet and you've got to try your best to beat him. This isn't the hardest thing in the world, but if you do manage to beat him, you'll then get the achievement Eat It Rocket. There are a few collectibles scattered throughout this game. One of these main ones are outfits. These can be quite difficult to find, but definitely are the most enjoyable collectible to get. You can identify these by these weird looking little pod things. After you interact with them, you can then equip them to any of the Guardians that they fit. Alongside equipping your outfit for the first time, you'll also get the achievement Like a Glove. There's 4 achievements scattered throughout this game that all follow the same principle. These are to complete auto combos with each of the Guardians. To do this, you have to use a melee attack on an enemy in close proximity to this Guardian. Occasionally, they'll then get involved and kill the enemy. This seems quite easy, but some of the Guardians are difficult to get close to, such as Rocket, who tends to keep his range, or be attached to Groot, who then takes over the auto combo. If you attempt this throughout the game though, you should be able to get all 4 of them pretty easily. The first I got was with Drax. The second one with Gamora getting me the achievement Killer Friendship. The third auto combo being with Groot, which got me the achievement Timber. And then finally aim assist for getting an auto combo with Rocket. After searching through the abandoned ship in the quarantine zone, we eventually find what we came to look for. This is some weird llama-like creature that appears to be able to teleport or go invisible. I'm not really too sure. Whatever it does, it definitely isn't a normal llama. After finally getting it to stop escaping your capture attempt and finally capturing the beast, you'll then unlock the achievement Llama Wrangler. With your mission finished and back on the ship, this ends Chapter 1 and gets you the achievement A Risky Gamble.
Please don't be Nova Corps. It is Nova Corps.
Chapter 2 doesn't really have you doing much, apart from walking around with the Nova Corps. The Nova Corps, I believe, are some sort of police, military group. I'm not 100% sure on the lore of Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's my understanding anyway. In Chapter 2, there's not a lot to do, but it's a lot of story setting. I'm not going to go too much into the story, as I'd highly recommend playing this yourself, and the story is pretty good, so I'd recommend experiencing that firsthand. However, when you leave the Nova Corps, you'll complete Chapter 2 and get the achievement Busted.
My ship.
The blasters that Star-Lord has are very impressive weapons, and throughout the game, they only get more impressive. There are certain moments that happen during the story that forces blasters to transform into something special. Whenever this happens, you also get an achievement. The first of these is when you gain the ice element, which unlocks you the achievement Flash Freeze. This enables you to freeze enemies as well as traverse difficult areas with water.
Here we go again.
The second elemental ability is Lightning. Unsurprisingly, this allows you to open up doors as well as stun enemies. Alongside being able to do this, you also get the achievement Shock and Awe. The third elemental ability is then Wind. Using this attack drags enemies closer to you, which is handy for enemies that are stood far away sniping you. Alongside this, you're also able to pull down objects and open up new passageways. This also unlocks the achievement Fan Friction.
It's okay. The one where I fail is the one where you don't.
All of us! No more blowing things up, Rocket! Ever!
And then the final element, Plasma. This basically is a fire element, so you can burn through things and also do a lot of damage to certain enemies. Alongside this, you also then get the achievement, Lava Launcher.
On it.
There are certain mini-bosses within this game that you fight against that you can have a call of action to interrupt one of their attacks. A call of action in this game is when you've done a certain amount of damage to an enemy and then you get the opportunity to do a very damaging attack. You'll become aware of this opportunity of the attack when you see a button appear on screen. Because I was using an Xbox controller, it was Y. As I mentioned, when you do this, it will do a lot of damage to this enemy. Annoyingly, this does come down to luck as there's no guaranteed way to get it. This means that if you're not careful, you can miss a few achievements. There are a couple of times where I had to replay some of these fights because these enemies do not appear later on in the game. The first of these is with Drax on the Slake Beast, and you'll get the achievement Slake Buster. Second is with Gamora when you're fighting against the Nova Centurions. This will get you the achievement No Way Nova Corps.
Well done.
The third again is with Drax and is against the Inquisitor. And then the final one is with Groot against the Charger for the achievement Groot Canal. Following Chapter 3, where you end it having a flashback to back when you were on Earth, you get an achievement for completing Chapter 3. This is the Cost of Freedom. On every enemy that you see throughout this game, they have 2 health bars. One of them is a health bar, and the other one not so much. In other games, this would be called their poise or something like that, but I'm not sure what it's called in this game. If you do enough damage or use elemental weapons to fill this bar, you'll then stagger the enemy. This means that they become very susceptible to damage, and you can even do special attacks on them. After you've done this to your 25th enemy, you'll also then unlock the achievement Stagger Swagger. Whilst fighting my way through Chapter 4, you come up against a beast known as the Dweller in Darkness. This is a giant squid-like monster that's deep underground. This is one of your first proper bosses, so it can be quite challenging if you're not really prepared or understand the mechanics quite just yet, as it's still early on in the game. This is also when one of my team members went down for the first time. After then reviving them, I then got the achievement Pick Me Up. With all my team revived and fighting together, eventually we're able to take down this giant squid-like beast. This does take quite a bit, as there's a couple of different things you have to do to get his health down progressively. Eventually though, you'll do enough damage and eventually kill the beast. For killing the Dweller in Darkness, you'll get the achievement Squid Kicker. With the Dweller in the Darkness killed, that finishes Chapter 4, unlocking you the achievement The Monster Queen. Whilst fighting is building up your momentum. To do this, you just have to continuously dodge, do attacks, use your special abilities, and just do a load of damage really. And over time, you then build up your momentum. This momentum at the end of the fight, I believe, then multiplies the amount of XP that you get, I think. So it's very beneficial to have, because it would mean that you can unlock more abilities much quicker. When you've managed to attain the maximum possible momentum 10 times in this game as well, you'll then unlock the achievement Unstoppable Force. After fighting your way off a Nova Corps ship that has been filled with potentially possessed Nova Corps soldiers, you then will complete Chapter 5, unlocking the achievement Do or Die. The next place that we find ourselves is on Nowhere. This is the floating head planet thing that's in the movies as well. Whilst here, you come across many different aliens and species and all that sort, which is quite cool just to walk around and explore and just take in the environment. Although there's many species and aliens and people, it doesn't all mean that they like Star-Lord. Unfortunately, 2 of these are the Blood Brothers. They are Garrick and Rossop. You learn very quickly that you can't do damage to them very easily. This is because when they're close together, they have some impenetrable armor that appear. This means that you have to try and separate them as much as possible. When they're then separated, just deal as much damage as humanly possible. Eventually, you'll do enough damage to the point where they'll then be defeated. For defeating them, you'll get the achievement Family Intervention. After defeating the Blood Brothers, and then once again having another flashback, you'll then get an achievement Between a Rock and a Hard Place for completing Chapter 6. As mentioned earlier in the video, you can stagger enemies. Once they're staggered, and if you've done enough damage, you can then do a flare attack. This is a cool little attack that you can do that instantly kills the enemy. So alongside being cool, it is also very beneficial to use. Alongside just looking cool, you'll also get the achievement The Crowd Goes Wild after executing a flare attack 10 times. At this point of the game, I'd unlocked quite a few special ability points. Whereas at the beginning, for some reason, I was just putting them all into Star-Lord, I thought it's probably beneficial to put it into some of the other heroes in my roster. Eventually, this meant I was able to get a special ability for each of the people in the team, some of which were very good and beneficial for the rest of the game as they do a lot of damage or just help out massively. Alongside this, I also got the achievement Dynamic Team. Another collectible within this game are Guardian collectibles. These collectibles allow you to have some backstory into the members of your team. You find them scattered all around the chapters, and then once you've collected them, you can go back to the ship and have a conversation with these characters about the object. This fills you in with a lot of lore. When you've managed to find all of the Guardian collectibles for one of these Guardians, you'll then unlock the achievement Managerial Skills. Chapter 7 concludes with you getting captured by the big bad army trying to take over the galaxy. Once again, I'm not going to go into too much details into this because I think you should really experience the story yourself. This also unlocks the achievement Canine Confusion.
What's wrong with the passport? Nothing. The poaching.
Whilst under capture of this army, they then try and mess with your brain. They send you back to the day that you got abducted on Earth and your mum died. However, this time you have your blasters, so you're able to protect your mum. This is then when she tries to keep you in this reality. Obviously, you know this isn't really real and you need to get out of it. Breaking free from this delusion, you then unlock the achievement Mama's Boy. With the end of Chapter 8, you learn how the enemy are going to try and take over the galaxy. It's now your job to work out a way to stop them. For doing this, you get the achievement The Matriarch.
You must go back.
Once again, you come across the Nova Corps. The first time you meet them, I don't think I mentioned it, but they do arrest you and you get fined. Unfortunately, when this happens, you and the crew have no money whatsoever. So some of the activities that you've been getting up to are with the aim of being able to get some credits. This means that now that you've bumped into them for the second time, you're finally able to pay your fine. Once you've done speaking to them, you can then go into your computer system on your ship and pay that fine. Be sure to do this as it's easily missable and you won't get the achievement Galactic Frugality.
Over with. Confirm payment. What?
At this point in the story, everything seems very dire and the galaxy seems like it's doomed. Chapter 9 finishes with Star-Lord having a vision of all the Guardians of the Galaxy dying. Alongside this, you also then get the achievement Desperate Times. A very effective way to take down enemies in this game is to stagger them and then hit them with a charge shot. To do a charge shot, you just have to fire, stop, fire again, charge it up, and then it fires a big beam that does a lot of damage. If the enemy is then staggered, this damage then multiplies, and a lot of the time you can take them out in one hit. I didn't realise this until quite late, so I'd highly recommend it. Alongside this, after you've defeated 15 enemies doing this, you'll get the achievement Set 'em Up, Knock 'em Down. Unfortunately, in Chapter 10, Drax succumbs to the enemy and his brain is taken over by them. This means that we need to go inside his mind to free him. With Chapter 10 then being complete, we get the achievement Test of Faith.
What the butt?
Whilst inside Drax's mind, we come up against the manifestations of Thanos. These are ghost versions of Thanos that attack you and you just have to take them down for as long as possible. They begin to multiply and get stronger and stronger, and after a while you just can't do anything against them. They then defeat you, but this is meant to happen and you'll get the achievement Titan Slayer. At this point in the game, I realised that there are achievements linked to using the special abilities of the members in your team. You just have to defeat enemies using these special abilities. The first one that I got was for defeating 20 enemies with Star-Lord's Eye of the Hurricane. This got me the achievement Altitude Adjustment. The next special ability lies with Rocket. This is his 5-barrel barrage. Once you've defeated 20 enemies with this, you'll then unlock the achievement Boom Show. The next ability is one of Drax's. This is Wrath of Katath. Once you've defeated 10 enemies with this ability, you'll then get the achievement Adding Injury to Insult.
They'll be dropping like flies soon enough.
And then back to Star-Lord for the achievement Bullet Hell. To get this, you have to use his ability Fan the Hammer to defeat 15 enemies. Next is Gamora's Executioner ability. This basically is an insta-kill, and once you've used it 10 times, you'll then unlock the achievement Trained to Perfection. And then finally, the only passive one, which is Group's Gift of the Flora. This ability just revives or heals anybody that needs it. It says you need to affect 10 people with this ability, but if you just use it 3 times, you'll unlock the achievement Herbal Remedy.
Dudes right now, Rocket.
With the help of all the Guardians, you're eventually able to break Drax out of the trance that he's in and then leave his mind. This ends Chapter 11 and gets you the achievement Mind Over Matter. Although there's collectibles within this game, thankfully you don't have to get 100% of them for the achievement related to this. You just have to get 65%. This gives you a little bit of leeway, which is really appreciated, because I hate games where you have to get 100%, especially in ones where you can't easily go back and replay them if you miss any. At this point of the story, I was still just picking up as many collectibles as possible, and then I reached the 65% threshold and got the achievement Law Hoarder. As I was getting closer and closer to the end of the game, I was getting more and more XP. This means that I was able to unlock the last few special abilities for the Guardians. Eventually, when I unlocked the last one, I then got the achievement Fully Loaded. It becomes very clear by the end of Chapter 12 that we are not quite prepared to take on the main enemy. We need to go and look for some reinforcements, but most of the galaxy has been converted to their ways, so there's not many places we can go. With this realization, this ends Chapter 12 and gets the achievement Nowhere to Run. The next part of the story follows us trying to hunt a beast. This is Fin Fan Foom. Fin Fang Foom is a dragon that has ice protecting his chest and his wrists. I think it's also protecting his face if I remember correctly too. The gist of this fight is to do as much damage as possible to his ice, and then you'll get the opportunity to fire a huge rock at Fin Fang Foom. This will then stun Fin Fang Foom and enable you to do massive amounts of damage. Alongside this, you'll also be able to use your abilities and your crew's abilities to do increased damage. It can be a lengthy fight due to the amount of damage you need to do, but if you just keep aware of your surroundings and dodge his attacks, it's easily enough done. Once you've killed Fin Fang Foom, you'll then get the achievement Foom's Doom. With Fin Fang Foom defeated, this also completes Chapter 3 and gets the achievement Against All Odds.
Yes! The noble Lady Hellbender shall fight alongside us this day.
Following this, we finally discover how the enemy are controlling all of these people and worlds. We're able to stop this and now can focus our attention on the main bad guy. Alongside this finishes Chapter 14 and gets us the achievement Into the Fire. It's now time to take on the main boss of this game. This is Grand Unifier Raker. The fight starts with you having to beat his guards who are defending him.
We ain't getting through that. We have to, or Golden Boy's toast. Focus on Raker's fan club.
With the guards then taken out, it's time to focus your attacks on the Grand Unifier. His attacks vary from melee attacks to magic-based attacks. Some of these magic attacks will also obscure your vision, making it difficult to work out exactly where he is. This means that you just need to concentrate on where he was, just so you can keep an eye on where his attacks might come from. Using your crew's abilities once again is incredibly important for doing this due to the amount of damage it can do. After a few waves of breaking down slowly and dodging his attacks, you'll eventually do enough damage to take him out. With him taken out, this gets you the achievement Faithless. With the main boss beaten and the curse that's been controlling the minds of all these people vanquished, this then gets you the achievement Broken Promises for finishing Chapter 15. Before you get this achievement, you sit through the credits listening to the crew banter on the ship. Adam Warlock, who's been helping you through the second half of this game, also begins to talk. However, something seems a little bit wrong with him.
Don't worry about little old...
It turns out that Adam Warlock has taken on the effects of this curse. This has transformed him into the Magus. This is basically the exact same as Adam Warlock, but just an evil version of him.
Eternal!
What is even...
In this fight, the Magus creates versions of the enemies that you fought throughout the game. You just have to kill these waves over and over again until you can begin to do damage to the Magus. After enough damage is done, the curse will leave Adam Warlock and go on the attack. This is where you then use one of the Infinity Stones to take on the curse directly. The curse is very powerful, and all of a sudden the screen goes white and you're not really too sure what happens. Thankfully, Star-Lord and the crew have survived. This then unlocks 2 achievements: Poetry Critic for defeating the Magus, and the Magus for completing Chapter 16. Following this, you then get the actual credits of the game. After the credits, you then get a little scene of Peter Quill trying to work out what he's going to do with the new crew members that have boarded the ship. Once this scene is finished, you'll then get the achievement, Guardians of the Galaxy, for completing the game.
It was unanimous.
With the game fully complete, it's now time to go back into New Game Plus. Thankfully, we don't have to play through another playthrough or anything like that. All we have to do is make sure that we've equipped every single outfit in the game. For completing the game, you unlock about 4 or 5 outfits, so these are the ones you have to equip. Also, alongside this, any that you haven't equipped that you'd unlocked earlier. Just looking through these are quite cool, because they're all based off variations of the Guardians of the Galaxies from the movies, games, and comics, so it is really quite cool to look at. With this then done, you then unlock the achievement, Fashion Passion, for equipping every single outfit in the game, and this is what we do for unlocking every single achievement in Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy are one of those games that I think when it came out sort of went under the radar. I remember hearing about it when it came out and remember negative reception when it came out. However, when looking into the reviews before playing this game, I didn't really see that much negative and it seemed generally quite positive. This meant that I was quite excited going into it because I love the Guardians of the Galaxies and the movies. I've never read any of the comics, but heard they're always very good. So I was excited to try the game. And to be honest, I was really happy with how the game plays. The mechanics in it, the banter between the crew, the story, the music, everything about it is just amazing. So I'd highly recommend anyone that's never played this game to play it. My only gripe maybe is that it would have been nice to play as some of the other Guardians, but can understand why it just concentrates on Star-Lord, as it would probably get a bit overcomplicated and it would probably suffer from it otherwise. Up to this point, all of the Marvel games I've played so far, this and Spider-Man, have been really good, and I'm excited for the Wolverine one that comes out soon. If you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it, and if you've got any comments on how to improve these videos or recommendations on other games I should try, please let me know. If you've made it this far and you also haven't pressed the subscribe button, please do, as that also massively helps. I'll see you in the next video.